Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing? Let's see here. I am not seeing any chat. Just give me a couple seconds here. Oh, there we go. To the top. We might have to go to the other side. All right. Come with me for a sec. Let's see if we can get this working on this side instead. Look at me, unprepared. Oh, there we go. I'm seeing some chat. All right, we're good. How's it going? So today, I want to talk to you guys about some new colors. A new colorway in. There we go. Let's tilt this down a little bit. Perfect. As you can see, we're in the yarn room today. So in the shipping department, actually, we've got all the shelves with all the yarns all around us. I know I can't show them all to you, but um, basically what I wanted to do is actually get in here and show you our new colorway. So this one here was just released. Well, I was about a minute late. So about 3 minutes ago, dropped on the website there. Hey guys, how's it going? This one here is called Quiet Skies. Now this is on our bamboo base. It is a, oh, that's the wrong tech. It's on our bamboo base. So basically it's a 60, 25, 15. It is a merino bamboo silk base and it is insanely soft. It is only available in our fingering weight. Look at that, hey? Those colors are really coming through. Good lighting in here, apparently. Well, hello in Texas. Hello from Canada. Thank you so much. Now, first thing I want to do is talk about some pairings, and then I'm going to get into some questions. If there's anything you guys want to see, I've got it. I've got it all around here, so we can kind of move around. I can grab different colors, different semi-solids, whatever you guys want. All right. So now the first one I would pair up with this beauty right here. I would have to look at Victorian Petal, just because that semi-solid really kind of pulls it together, and you can see in the top here, we got some of that same pink going on. Same with down below. It's kind of a peachy pink, but absolutely stunning combo to go together. Absolutely. I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been holding on to this for about a week already. So I was excited to get the drop on it. I was running a little bit late today, but it is now live on the website. So Victorian Petal, great combination. I would also look at our other pink, which is Antique Rose. And I feel like that leans a little bit more towards the purple side of things, but you can see those ones right there are really, really quite the pair. It would make a wonderful shawl for sure. Absolutely. And this bamboo base is insanely soft. I wish I could just, let you touch it there. But if you haven't already worked with our bamboo base, it is incredible. I just found out from our supplier, chances are it is being discontinued, but I've got about 5,000 skeins of it. So for the next little while, we'll be able to drop some new colorways on it, but it is going to be limited. So keep that in mind. Now, if I was going to move a little bit further away from the feminine side of things, green and blue, of course. And we can see this is Old Souls and Overalls. This is one of our new semi-solids. This one here really pairs up quite nicely with that blue. I was looking at the teal, and I don't feel like the teal really comes across on this one here. But Old Souls kind of pulls it all together there. You got that nice dark blue in there, and they are of the same shade, you could say. On the other side of it, sage. You can't go wrong with sage. You really can't. You see those nice light palette, absolutely stunning. Beautiful combination for sure. So now that I got that out of the way, what do you guys want to see? Is there a colorway you want me to grab? So pretty. All right. I do got some other ones. Now, last week I was talking about I always mix this up. I always want to call it our bamboo base. This is our corn base, and I've actually only got about 20 skeins left. So I'm thinking what we're going to do today is the next 20 orders that go through, I'm going to hand out a skein with them, free of charge. Here comes the sun. Give me a second. I'll grab that one. If I could find it. Oh, yes. I like this one a lot. It's got those nice earthy greens in it. Definitely one of my favorites for sure. Especially with this purpley pink that we got Ryan on the top here. So this is our fingering weight. Here comes the sun. We've got quite a few on the shelf, but this one here, I would probably, if I was going to pair this up, first thing, green, we got to go with juniper. You can see beautiful green in there. Really pairs up quite nicely. Absolutely. The next one, I would pair up with this one. You know, I might go with the plum just to kind of match up in the purple there. But we could also grab some longing for lilac. Yeah, I think the longing kind of pulls it together, but that plum isn't too bad either. It's really not. I think that's a wonderful combo, especially when we throw in the juniper in there. So we got longing for lilac on this side. We got the plum on this side. Here comes the sun in the center and juniper across the bottom there. Any chance I'll be adding Silent Night back? Um, I think Silent Night it was a couple years ago. We had some troubles with the dye process on Silent Night, and we ended up changing it up a little bit. It's not exactly the same, but let me grab one here. So this here is From the Heavens, and this is actually based on Silent Night. So this one here is our DK weights. The way we were dyeing it before, the issue we were having, if you unravel this and cake it up, we were actually finding that the outside of the cake and the inside of the cake were, excuse me, different colors. Need some coffee. Okay, so basically the outside of the cake and the inside of the cake were different colors, and it was because of the way we were dyeing it. So it wasn't saturating all the way through. We had to take and make some changes to it to make sure it was coming out a little bit more consistent. We've still got that same blue in it. We've still got the same white. We've got the chestnut sprinkles, which, if I can hold this up nice and close, chestnut always likes to break out into a little bit of red. So I know some people get surprised when they see chestnut sprinkles and red splotches, but that is basically Silent Night. If you were to pair this up with an old skein of Silent Night, it would pattern out differently, but the colors would be very, very consistent. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's see if we have any other suggestions here. Brown does break bad. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the brown, really. I've got a chocolate brown that likes to speckle out into like yellows. I find that a little off-putting, so I do try to avoid that one. The chestnut, in all honesty, I like how it speckles. I like that it breaks out into those blues and reds. Can be a little bit surprising, but I enjoy how it comes out. So I do stick to my chestnuts, that's for sure. Now, if I don't have any other suggestions, I'm going to talk about some of my favorites. These are the autumns. So we've got Autumn Retreat and Autumn Drive. And I know it's winter time. Why am I talking about autumn? Uh, Probably because I love fall, right? Fall is amazing. I got lots of ends sticking out here. We're going to clean this one up here real quick. There we go. First frost. I'm on it. Beautiful. 2 seconds. All right. So we got some first frost here. And we can see we've kind of got this beautiful little chestnut, breaks out into some ecru undyed. And we've got the charcoal speckles in there. So I honestly think this one's pretty easy to pair up. If I was going to, I would probably grab some ecru for sure. Let's break into maybe a couple of these, and then we're going to bring the browns in. All right. So first, if you want just a little bit of texturing, I would take and go with the ecru. It's nice and plain, nice and simple. Really kind of showcases that just a little splash of color. So this way you can work into some texturing, not have to worry so much about texture being lost with the color itself. If you want something a little bit more drastic, probably creamy coffee would be what I would consider the closest. What kind of project would I do with all these different colors? For me, I would honestly, first frost, I would probably look at a sweater, especially if it's got some cabling or something like that. Ecru and first frost, I think would make an absolutely amazing sweater. If we were looking at, I've got to remember all the names now. Quiet Skies, probably a shawl. And in all honesty, I might just run it just with this, a lace shawl, not necessarily cabling or anything like that. What else did we talk about? This one here, I've seen this one done in a sweater and it looks incredible. I would probably just do the cuff in, I would go with juniper. I really would. Um, I know these are really big projects. We could either easily do some hats or some gloves with some of this stuff. Um, we all have our preferences. So this one here, I've seen done in sweaters. It looks absolutely incredible, especially if the entire sweater is done up top to bottom, and then do the cuffs in the juniper there. That would be wonderful. So back to this one, ecru, probably top favorite. Second best, I would say, not second best. If you wanted something a little bit more drastic, I would lean into the creamy coffee. And I think the creamy coffee really pulls that one together there. Kind of get these in front of you here. Get the tags out of the way. We've got, oh, tag in the way. We're kind of floating into the same hue there. So the other option on the other side of things, dark brown, a nice little bit of a contrast, still working with the browns. I think I need one more. I would probably look at charcoal. We've got those charcoal speckles in there. And that would be a nice contrast if we were looking at a sweater or something like that as well. It's basically first frost in semi-solids. Really is. So, like I was saying, for the next, what do I got here? I've got 21 skeins of our bamboo. And like I said, I'm going to throw one of these in with every order that goes out starting 5 minutes ago. So Anybody who places an order, I'm going to throw this DK weight of not the bamboo, it's corn silk. Sorry. It is our 60-30-10 merino, corn fiber, and silk. Chasing chickens. Where are you that your chickens are outside? It's darn cold where I am. I think we're minus 20 Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but no need for the chickens to be outside here, that's for sure. Jewel tone colorways. I can definitely look into some of those. Oh, what do we got here? Ooh, Iris U. Now this one, I think, do I have some? Yeah, some old souls. I'd go with this one and maybe into the plum. And then I think I need a teal. Another jewel tone. 65 is not bad. 65 would be a warm welcome here right now. Like I said, it's not in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, I think we're about minus 20 right now. It's pretty darn chilly. We've had quite the cold snap as of late. So if we're looking at jewel tones, this one here is called Iris U. We got some of those beautiful blues in there, kicking off into some of those pinks, those purples. If I was going to pair this one up, I would probably look at Old Souls just to match up with the blues. I feel like that really pushes over into the, I don't want to say a neutral side, but for me, those are the colors that would jump out at me. And then on the other side of things, if we were going to go a little bit more feminine, I would grab Antique Rose. And I really think that's quite the match in there. So absolutely beautiful combo. On the other side of things, if we wanted to go straight up blues, throw some teal in there. It's kind of hard to see the differences. Old Souls is a little bit darker. Teal pushes a little bit more towards the green, but we get a nice combo in there. Where do we order our bases from? That's not something I'm going to be able to share. What I can tell you is that the wool itself comes from Australia, and then we have it processed at a mill we have on contract. So basically, the mill will create our bases for us. And every once in a while, they like to come up with a little bit of a surprise. That's where the corn base came from, and that's where the bamboo base came from. Actually, those are really nice together too. Not to get sidetracked. But yeah, so basically we have a mill on contract that we work with, and they create the bases. I wouldn't say especially for us, but basically we're the only ones ordering the bases. So yeah, took me a good 18 months to create the bases that we're working with now. So maybe that's why I'm holding it near and dear. Do I have a favorite base? So I don't really knit or crochet nearly as much as I should. So for me, I would say I'm more excited about dyeing yarn. That's kind of the how it started for me. That's the hobby for me. If I was going to dye a base, I would lean into the fingering weight, the 80/20 merino nylon. I like how it comes out. It's almost always this. I don't know how to put it into words. It feels right. All the colors come out the way that they should in my head, at least. The DK weight I do find to come out just a little bit lighter than I want it to. The worsted weight tends to come out a little bit brighter than I want it to, and the chunky weight comes out very vibrant. So when I'm creating new colors, I always create on the fingering base, and then we kind of expand out into the other bases. And I mean, they're pretty close, but for me, the fingering weight is how the yarn should have looked in the first place, if that makes any sense. Any other suggestions? I've only got like 160 different colorways we can grab. how did I get interested in yarn dyeing? Well, it's kind of a weird story, if I'm being honest. So I worked in construction for almost 20 years prior to this. Um, Now, on the sides, I was doing something called drop shipping, and drop shipping is basically where you reach out to people and you're like, "Hey, listen, I've got an audience. You have a product. Would you consider allowing me to sell your products with a commission?" So basically, I would go up to different individuals and be like, "This is beautiful yarn. Um, I think I have an audience for your yarn. Would you let me sell it? And I'll take 5% off the top or whatever it happens to be." So anyways, I started working with this one dyer and we got off quite well. Um, she was coming up with names for the yarn and me being an outsider, I didn't understand the names, right? If you come to me and say, well, that's plum, I'd be like, well, are we sure it's plum? I doesn't feel like a plum to me. And basically, I would go in and I started finding inspiration photos for her yarn. Then things took off. It went absolutely crazy. We got so busy that she said, "Listen, either you need to learn how to dye yarn or you need to take a step back because this is insanity. I can't keep up." And I basically said, "Yeah, okay, sounds good. Let's do it." So she sent me out a bunch of products. I asked her, I'm like, "Do you want me to dye yarn like you, or do you want me to just do my own thing and dye yarn like me?" And she said, "Well, there's no point in having two of us do the same thing. Let's change it up. You dye it your way, I'll dye it my way." So I hopped on YouTube, learned how to dye, and yeah, that was basically it. Now, after about a year, we had some creative differences, and I decided that it just wasn't working out anymore. So I ended up pulling the plug and working on my own. And April 1st, 2021, I started up Arcane. So that's kind of a weird backstory. Like you would expect, I was enjoying yarn or something like that, and decided to get into it. But no, I came about the other aspect. It was just it became a creative outlet for me. It was something I really enjoyed. All right, let's catch up on the comments here. Dyeing yarn is fun. Absolutely. Throwing color on yarn is amazing. Um, okay, Serenity. I can do that one. So this is Serenity in all of its glory. We got browns and we've got greens. It's right up my alley. It really is. All right. So greens, I might look at sage, but in all honesty, I would probably push over to the juniper. I just don't feel like, although the sage is in there and it feels all right, I think these two greens are a little bit too contrasting. So if you can't match, you contrast. And I think I would push over into the juniper just to kind of get away from just that light green not quite matching up with the same shade. If we go nice and dark, we can see that kind of pulls it together for me. Now on the other side, we got the browns. Yeah, we could definitely throw in the creamy coffee. Now this brown kind of runs off into the reds, but we've got this other brown in here, which is kind of a chestnut, and that matches up quite well. Again, if you can't quite match, go with the dark brown and contrast. And I think that set really pulls it together there. That would be the direction I would go. Juniper, Serenity, dark brown, for sure. Mana Surge. Oh, we're going straight into the semi-solids. All right. Look at the vibrancy in that. Now it's not quite coming through on camera like I would hope. It's looking a little bit lighter. This is a very bright color. Maybe if we hide the lighting. No, not so much. Um, this one it's intense, let me tell you. All right. What would I pair up with this one here? I would probably look at Siren Song and could even push into maybe a Fable of Flowers. Yeah, I think those do pretty good. Again, these colors aren't quite coming through the way I want, and in all honesty, yeah, I think that would be my set right there. So we got Mana Surge, we've got Siren Song, and we've got Antique Rose, I think. Antique Rose. And I think those three would really, really pull it off. A green blue. What do we got that's green and blue? I've got a couple. I don't think I have anything that's intensely green and blue. Got pull into this one. Maybe this one. And then maybe one of the new ones. Okay, let's try this. Greens and blues. Straight up greens. It's kind of a light green in there. More of a seafoam, if you will, pushing into a little bit of a brown. This is one of the new colorways called A Sky Remembered. Not to be confused with that one, Another Sky. But this one here, newer colorway, absolutely beautiful blue in there. If you're looking to take and round it out a little bit, this one's got a little bit more green in it, definitely the blue, and we kick into a little bit of orange as well. So there's that. Or we can push into the aqua side of things. We got lots of green in this one here. Oh, sorry, this one is Never a Dull Day. This is Sky Remembered, and this one here is Till Death Do Us Part. So we've got some nice bright greens in here, kind of earthy greens, pushing into some of the blues. This is more of a dark aqua blue, aqua blue, if you will. Looking at these two, they actually pair up quite nicely. I don't mind those at all. Whoop. And then juniper, always with the juniper. In all honesty, if you're going to grab something with green, you should have some juniper on hand. You really should. Juniper goes with just about everything on this. Like you could grab any color in this whole place, grab some juniper, pretty much going to match. The other one would be charcoal. And I think those really pull it together there. You bought some of our yarn at a local yarn store. That's awesome, especially down in the US. We haven't been able to do wholesale to the US for, I'm not going to talk about it here. Yeah, we're just going to leave it at that. Unfortunately, our wholesale program to the US has been suspended for probably the next 3-ish years. Hopefully sooner, maybe not. We don't actually know. But yeah, so if you see our yarn in a store down in the US, grab it because they won't be restocking, unfortunately. Not for a while. Seafoam, absolutely. I have Seafoam. Well, not specifically Seafoam, but I've got a colorway that's got a lot of Seafoam in it. You wonder why. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about it. Here is the place, but I'm not going to talk about it. There's no point. And there's nothing I can say or do to make this better in any way, shape, or form. We just kind of chug along and hope for the best. So, Seafoam. Beautiful Seafoams. We've got Seafoam Green in this one here. This was called Web of Life, and it's got a little bit of this brown in it, kind of a reddy brown, almost a chestnut. And then this one over here is Where the Wind Blows. Same green, more brown. So Web of Life, Where the Wind Blows. Beautiful seafoam colors in there. Absolutely. And I know they're kind of come across as the same, but we've got different browns in these ones. So this one's got a darker brown, lighter brown. I am a big fan of both of these. If I was going to pick one over the other, I would go with, oh, not Web of Life. I would go with Where the Wind Blows. This one really jumps out to me. What else we got? We got, ooh, Lilac Lullaby. Absolutely. That's a good one. I'll leave that right there. So, Lilac Lullaby. I need Midnight. Can't believe I don't have Midnight out. Midnight goes with everything. It's a lot like that Juniper and Midnight and Charcoal. These three here, just nonstop. So, what do we got here? We got Lilac Lullaby. Got those nice dark blues. We've got those purples running off into the pinks. Absolutely love this one. And Sweet Coraline. Almost the same. We go a little bit more blue on this one, a little bit more purple on this one. Sweet Coraline pushes into the blues. Lilac Lullaby pushes into the purples, but both are very, very intense colors. I love these ones. Midnight goes with both of them. It really does. So we pull out those nice dark blues into the midnights, nice dark blues into the midnights. And if you want to go intense, we actually just brought back electric blue. And I think electric blue would pull into that as well. We could really, really jump the colors out there for sure. So go with those. We got electric blue. We got midnight. Oh, that was a Sweet Coraline. There we go. Lilac Lullaby. Or you could go with the turquoise as well. Really just kind of round that one off. I find the turquoise is a little bit brighter. It's very bright. But if we throw plum in there, that basically does it. Well, thank you so much. I do tend to browse. I look for um, as many knitting and crochet channels as I can possibly find. Um, there's a lot of them out there. So I do bounce back and forth all the time, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, Facebook. We try and be everywhere, and I do try and catch as many shows as I can. That's for sure. Yeah, that electric blue really pops, eh? Yeah, we did discontinue this one for a little while actually. We pulled it off the shelves for about 3 weeks. And I was getting so many requests, we just decided we had to take and put it back on there. So, all right, give me 2 seconds.